Good morning, everyone. We start off this Shots Fired with a bit of obviously sad news. On Tuesday morning, in the early hours of the morning, Ian Coates, Barnaby Webber, and Grace O'Malley Kumar were fatally stabbed in Nottingham. Obviously, at Shots Fired, we like to have fun and take a joke, but this is quite a serious incident that happened. So we would both of us like to give our condolences to the families and people affected by this awful attack. And we would just like to just take a moment at the beginning of the show to remember them and offer some reflection. On to the rest of our show for today.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome to Shots Fired.
Welcome to Shots Fired.
I always forget to turn off my phone volume, and it always comes through. I'm like, where is that coming through? But it's all good now. It's all good.
Oh, I see.
Oh, hello. How was your week?
Hello. Hi. Yeah, it was good. Busy in its own way.
Yeah.
You had a good week?
I had a good week. At least it's been a week now, not 2 weeks like we had obviously previously. So we've been to a schedule. There's a routine going on here.
Yeah, we're thriving on routine. I mean, it's not quite a week. It's like it is technically 2 weeks, but it's a week gap, a full week, a Saturday gap.
Yeah.
That's what we mean.
This is what we need
when we say that.
But it's been
God
good.
forbid we talk to each other between that.
Do we even? I send you memes, and you sent me a Star Wars thing this morning.
Yeah, like 2 a.m. And sometimes we'll
you're
12 hours before the show, we'll be like, what should we talk about?
Yeah, literally. Like yesterday, we're like, oh yeah, we've got a thing tomorrow. No, we're like, yeah, we do.
Yeah, these thing that we've committed to doing.
These things get planned as late as they can, but at least it makes it exciting.
Listen. Diamonds are made under pressure. Exactly,
but I think too much pressure, too much preparation would make would make us overthink. But if this is improv, this is basically comedy improv.
This is a yes and show, no thoughts, only speech. Speaking of absolutely no thoughts, the poll results are in and they are cooked. Let me tell you.
Go on, tell me.
Okay. Poll number 1. First of all, thank you to everyone who voted. We had more responses than we thought. Again, we love it. Keep sharing everything you see on social media. We've got a lovely get in touch form now, which you can yell at us from, give us ideas, or just get your shout outs. That's on our Instagram, in our link tree, which took me longer to figure out than it should have done.
Thank you very much for doing that.
Share it. That's all right. Share it to everyone who you think would find it enjoyable, because word of mouth is how a podcast grows.
Yeah.
Anyway, the words coming out of some mouths are wrong, though. So
you can't tell that our listeners are wrong. You can't just do that.
I am the co-captain here.
Okay, right. Well, what's poll number 1? Now let's get into it. And let's discuss
poll number 1. Inside clothes and outside clothes. 53%. Absolutely. 13%, don't be ridiculous. 34%, it depends on the cleanliness, not the item. So basically, if you take it as a yes or no, it's pretty 50-50.
50-50, yeah. I've
just
had,
like Brexit. Yeah. Inside or outside?
Brexit of clothes.
Brexit all over again. Brexit.
Here we go again.
The shots fired Brexit.
I've had the people that listened. I've had so many people come up to me and go, "Oh yeah, I agree with you, Eryk." And then they even said that their partner is the opposite. I had a guy shout out to Jordan from work. We talked about this, and yes, there are inside and outside clothes. I wouldn't go in my inside clothes outside into the streets, and he agrees with me. So
my gaggle of geese from work, completely divided. My little gaggle of geese, completely divided. Emma, who's a big fan of the pod, was very much like, no, there are inside outside clothes, and all of us were like, do you not just wash your fucking clothes? What the fuck are you talking about?
And it was not about washing.
It got passionate. We were walking down the street and we were getting looks because we were so animated. And in London, to be the weirdo that gets looks, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
Because London will see all sorts of stuff, as we've discussed. So to be the gaggle that gets the looks on the street, I felt like I'd achieved something. So that was the first poll.
Yeah, very, very good. Very good.
Peeing in the shower, an excellent result.
We'll go on.
31% said, no, that's gross. 69%, nice. Said that it saves water.
It does. Well done, everyone. You honestly, peeing in a shower is natural. You know, it's you just got to go. Like, if I have to pee, I'm like, do I need to pee or do I need to shower? And I just shower.
Have you like Pavlovian response to yourself into hot water equals pee?
Yeah. Do you know what's the worst thing? The worst bit is when your body wants to pee at the end of a shower. And you're like, I've just cleaned you, man. I've just cleaned you, dude. And you know, you just want to piss everywhere. So
I never get, literally as soon as I get in, that hot water hits me and I'm like, time to go.
You're just gushing.
Gushing?
Yeah.
I'm well hydrated. Whether I gush or not is not to be discussed. Maybe that's the line. Anyway, next final poll. This one was contentious. A bar of soap, 36% goes straight onto my body. Ooh. And a 64% only touches my hand. And I've got to give a little mention to Ander here. Now, Ander was very distressed by this question. And I'm like, son, calm down. It is not that deep. You need a third option, depends on the body part. And I'm like, no. This is a yes or no question. It touches your hands or it touches something else. And they were like, no. Because maneuverability. And I'm like, no. This is not deep. If it touches anything other than your hands, the answer is it touches the body. And it just was, or they were very distressed. So I need to apologize for the mental psychological distress that we have inflicted on our audiences. But I love doing these polls and I would love to keep doing this nonsense. So hopefully we'll agree about something.
Just bring more. And if you don't want to be, if you want to obviously connect with us, that's brilliant. We want to do that. But if you don't want to be mentioned, then just please said, don't want to be mentioned on the show. We could do that from there. But I've back to the soap thing. Really quickly. I use my hand. I use this hand. And that hand, this exact hand does a lot of things for people and me. And but people have like sponges and they have like these scrunchy things, which I think just
like a loofah.
Like a loofah, whatever it's called. Yeah, the loofah sounds very German.
Loofah is also like they're horrendously dirty.
They are filled with bacteria, in my opinion. So I mean, whatever suits you and how you want to get clean. But yeah, so
if I see a loofah in someone's bathroom, I'm like, I hope that's a new loofah. Someone said that you have to like boil your loofahs or replace them every week, and I'm like,
that's why you get 3 of them in IKEA, you know.
Yeah, but like there's better, more environmentally sustainable ways of doing this.
Yeah.
I will also
like
say
your hand.
Yeah, just like my hand. I in classic 180 style, for me it actually depends on the soap. I've discovered.
What? We were 180ing it? Are we literally 180ing this? What do you mean basically, it depends on the soap?
So, okay, so you know how I'm a lush baby, I'm a lushy. They have these like jelly soaps that are all like flippity floppity. And that, if you just lather it up in your hands, it'll just flop out. So I just do that on my arms. But if it's like a bar of soap, that just goes on my hands. So yeah,
wow.
It's sort of maybe it's a 45 degree because it's a slight turn, but not full all the way. Because I will say that, soap belongs just in your hands. But yeah.
This is an interesting turn of events then.
It's an interesting turn of events, I know. I am just a traitor. The rest of the shout outs. Okay. Do you have a shout out?
I have a shout out, yeah. So we briefly talked about Formula One last week. about shipping. You talked about ships between different drivers. And I have a friend from work called Danny, and Danny has informed me that the biggest ship that is still going on is Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel. That's the number one ship on this like website where people ship people. So I didn't know that. So there we go. So now we know. And that is that's all my shout outs. What about you?
I did have one until literally seconds ago. Now I have two.
Okay.
So my first one is a name and shame. Lewis just called me again. This is the second, third. I don't know.
Third time now.
Lewis has third time. It's every time. Every episode.
He just wants to get into the show. He just wants to get into the show.
Well, there's easier ways, my darling. Firstly, like fill out our little form because I want responses on that.
Yeah.
I sacrificed 20 minutes of my evening to make it. I now want to have my
20 minutes from you.
Yeah, normally I don't take that long, but we do our best.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lewis just called me again. Third time's a charm, and I just texted him going, "Shots fired," and he went, "Every time." I'm like, yeah. It's almost like we schedule this
on a Saturday every 2 weeks. Like, how can we schedule it? Like, oh. Well,
and I get a phone call at 11:04.
You're like, oh, so close. You're like, so close. I thought you'd be non-punctual.
And the other shout out, my last shout out for today, is my number one fan is Bella, apparently, because I put a little story that was like, oh, get in touch, use our poll. Here's where the poll is. Who is wrong, Eryk? Who is right, Max? Ha ha ha. This hilarious post was brought to you by Max. This was the post on the screen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I see.
There we
go. There she is. Yeah, there it is.
Those listening at home, it's now on the screen.
Yeah.
And Bella responded, Eric's always wrong, so Max wins by default. A quality response, the only response, with little heart hands. So, Bella, weird way to propose, but yes.
Well,
there we go.
I think that's a lot of favoritism. I know which one. Who is Bella's favorite co-host now? So,
yeah.
And Bella, go on.
They come for the beard and they stay for the blue.
That's a quote on a t-shirt. That's a quote on a t-shirt.
Come for the beard.
No, come for the beard and stay on the blue. Stay for blue. We're gonna make a t-shirt of that one.
We'll get merch.
We'll get merch. People will buy our merch.
Yeah, sure. Bella would buy it.
If it's had your face on it. Cool.
Great.
Excellent. 10 out of 10. Enough of this madness. So, since you've been gone. Since you have been gone, I last week had a long weekend, big weekend. I was in Manchester once again, third time in a row for me. Obviously, Saturday was a Champions League final where Manchester City defeated Inter Milan 1-0 to win the Champions League for the first time ever. And Manchester City have also completed the treble. So for those non-football fans out there, I will explain what a treble is really briefly. So Manchester City have competed in 4 competitions this year, which was the Premier League, which is the main league, Champions League, which is a group of the best football teams from around Europe compete to win this trophy. The FA Cup, which is 150-odd-year-old cup allows people from all over League One to League Two, Championship, to compete against everyone else, and a Carabao Cup. Now, Manchester City, completing the treble, have won the Premier League, which is the league, Champions League, which is the European Cup, FA Cup, and they just managed to lose the Carabao Cup to Southampton, who have actually been relegated from the Premier League, which is quite ironic. So they've completed that. It was amazing. It was really good. Me and Andy had so much fun. It was Andy's our birthday on Sunday, so we had a birthday weekend. It was really fun because we were in Manchester watching it with a lot of Manchester City fans. So much passion, so much emotion when they won. People were crying. People were loving life. I had a great time. It was honestly really, really nice. It was really nice to watch that because You know, they've worked. Those people, you know, supporters. You know, whatever you say about football, and I will say this: Manchester City, yes, they have loads of money and they've spent billions of pounds into making their team, but they have won it, and it means a lot to the people. I think it means a lot to the fans that supported them, especially the fans that have supported them since like day one before they had the, you know, loads of money. So that was really, really good for me. And then, yeah.
That sounds really nice. I think there's something very wonderful about like what sport can do. I think like football hooliganism is awful. And it's not necessary to sport, because if you look at like rugby or like cricket communities, like it's not known for getting, you know, as out of hand as football does. But I will say the fact that football is in like every country in the world has.
Yeah.
I was in like the most rural parts of Africa or the most rural parts of Bonaire, and even in like the far-flung rainforests in Indonesia. Like everyone knows football.
Yeah.
And it's. I think that's really human. That feels really human.
It is. It's a sport. It's a sport that I've been brought up with from a very young age, and it's a sport that I follow now. And it's honestly which brings me to my next point, which is on Sunday I went to see Soccer Aid. So UNICEF do a Soccer Aid, which is a charity football match between celebrities and old legends of the sport. And that's a family event. It's a family fun event where no one really has a side. Everyone was there to have a good time. But when me and Andy walked into Old Trafford Stadium, which is the Manchester United Stadium in Manchester, the atmosphere and the energy, the vibe, it's so addictive, and it puts you on such a high. I would say that being on a football match in such an area with so many people is probably on the same level for those people as going to a really good concert, really good gig. You know what I mean? It's very much like that escapism, that outside of body experience that we had an amazing time. We saw some amazing legends, Paul Scholes, you know, we saw some celebrities, Paddy McGuinness and all that. And it was such a nice day out, really. It was. I think you're right. I think it's the act of such a large volume of people coming together. And it's the same as, you know, going to a music gig, or I mean, we'll talk later about West End Live, which is a sort of music gig that's for theatre nerds. But again, the vibe's just immaculate. It was something that, like, I understand why there are people, you know, that have live and breathe football clubs, and they come into every single week out, week in. There are people that are really passionate about it because they don't want to lose that feeling. Some of them that are, you know, they don't want to be, you know. It's such an amazing feeling, and I get it now. I get it after seeing that. I've been to a couple of football matches, but even though it was a charity match, it was very, very good to watch. And we had great seats for 30 quid. We paid 30 quid. We had phenomenal seating. So
what was so good about the seating? Where were you sat?
We were sat like on one of the ends of the ground. So you got the two goal ends. So we sat at one of the ends. We had such a good view of the goal. This basically was really close, so I could have waved at Tom Hiddleston, and he probably would have seen me wave back. You know, it was really cool. Tom Hiddleston. I saw with these eyes, saw Tom Hiddleston. So,
oh my god. Well, I mean,
he's incredibly tall.
Is he?
He's quite tall. Yeah, he's tall and skinny.
I mean, he does look tall.
Yeah, he's quite tall. Do you know how else is massive? Huge bloke. Usain Bolt.
Oh, well,
he is. That man is tall. He's built and he's tall. Honestly, he's. How can he move? How can someone that tall move at that speed? Like, it's incredible. So
witchcraft.
I know, yeah. Like Mo Farah was also there, which was really funny compared to the height comparison between them two.
Yeah, he's not tall. He's a
small.
All that corn stunted his growth.
But it was really funny because like so some of these celebrities literally put everything on the line, and it was really good to see, and it was just a good spectacle. In the end, obviously it was England versus the rest of the world. The rest of the world did win 4-2, and they've retained the title for 4 years running now. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But it was great. It was great.
Next year's our year.
Next year's our year. Come on, England. Come on. Yeah.
All that popping in that mic. Whoa. I'm deaf when I heard that.
Even more.
Even more. Yeah, I've also seen some celebrities this week.
Go on.
Because it was gala night at the Kit Kat Club. So when there's a new cast, every new cast gets like 10 preview shows where they kind of learn the show and they practice in front of an audience and they can make changes and tweaks. And then they have like a press night where all the like official photographers come and the press come and they come and review the show. There was some famous people there. Also, all of the Shadow and Bone cast came to the club and they were all so hot and all so polite and it was great. And me and my friend Rachel, who were doing ticket scanning, would be like, oh, hi, yes, welcome to the club. Yes, it's just up this way. And then they walk past and leave and we'd be like, oh my God. As soon as they were out of sight, we'd just be not cool about it. And there was loads of famous people there. Are
you allowed to say who?
I mean, I can give a run through. I don't know. This is the thing. I don't know all of them, but somebody probably will. Give me a hot second.
One.
Because they put loads of them on the Instagram.
Two.
Okay, please.
Three.
Please, I beg you.
Four.
I actually can't find the list now. That's sad.
Okay.
Someone's I can remember. There was Patton Oswalt was there. Beverly Knight was there, who's a huge West End actress. What's his name? Sam Colflin or something. He was in Me Before You and all of those films. Every other famous person's just fallen out of my head. John Cena was there.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
John Cena. You can't see me. No.
Bing Chilling. John Cena. Bing Chilling. Yeah, he was. Yeah, there are famous people go. It was mad. People from The Crown were there. In previous gala nights, we've had like Game of Thrones cast. We've had Harry Potter cast members. Helena Bonham Carter comes every other month because she just loves it. She's obsessed. Ian McKellen came and fell asleep in the front row.
Love it.
The man is like nearly 90. So
you give him that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, John Cena.
Yeah, and Eddie Redmayne comes back and visits the club quite a lot.
Did he work there or something?
Yeah, Eddie Redmayne was the first. He was in the original cast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because some celebrities are just very nice, normal people, and the paparazzi will like hound them for photos and they'll just be like, okay. And then other celebrities are like, no pictures, please. And they'll like run into the building and they're like, oh no, please don't. And it just makes the paps like
want them more. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, if you just let them take a picture, then they'll leave, surely. I mean, I have the luxury of not being hounded by paparazzi every time I leave the house yet. So
yeah, actually, I have like security guards up front, so no one can come in there, so no one can disturb me.
Daniel does.
Yeah, Daniel's just outside, so he can just like, please guys, please leave. He's recording today.
Daniel's a muscle.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing. Like, it's a love and hate in it. Being famous, it's a love and hate thing where it would be such a privilege to be doing those things, going to places. The fame, the money, the attention you're getting, but being well known for something that you'd hope that they love. Yeah,
like someone's a famous writer because they love writing and they're getting accolades for that.
Yeah,
you know, or acting or music or whatever it is.
But at the same time, having to be photographed everywhere you go, no real privacy. Like, you know, some of these famous people have to go to like private islands or private villas or like don't tell the world where they are or have, you know, doppelgangers because they can't have a 2-week holiday in Mexico sort of thing.
I think it's also like if celebrities are in the limelight, I feel a bit sorry for them, but at the same time I'm like, it's part of your job, you've chosen this.
Yeah.
But I feel sorry for like their wife, their husband, their kids, their like wider family that like didn't choose that for themselves, but still have to like live in that world. Sorry, a fly just came into my window. And they still have to live in that world. And like I've like the big drama with Kim Kardashian and leaving her daughter Northwest on the red cup. So basically to go to the Met Gala or something, you have to be 18. And Kim went with Northwest in the car. Northwest is 9. And then just like left Northwest on the side of the road to go into the Met Gala and have fun. And then Northwest was just like just stranded there. It was a bit weird. But also like that on a tangent, that poor child Northwest, their whole life is documented. She has to look, I'm assuming she, not they, not sure, but we'll go with she. Like she has to live her whole life in the limelight because her mum's and family's so famous. And the way she was dressed, I thought it was a 15-year-old teenager next to Kim Kardashian, because she was in like heeled boots, her hair was all done, her makeup was done in this amazing outfit. She's 9.
Yeah.
But I fully thought that she was like almost an adult because she'd been like aged up. It was weird.
Yeah.
So there's certain types of celebrities.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something like, something they do. And as you say, it's their life is documented as they, Kim Kardashian has a Kardashian show. So all of what she's done and all the moments are filmed, videoed. And I feel like, how have we got to a place as a species, as a society, where there's a whole family being recorded for our own entertainment? I mean,
think about The Truman Show, the film The Truman Show.
Yeah. Spoilers for both.
Yeah, I mean, it's been out for a while. But like,
I still haven't seen The Matrix.
A moment of silence for our fallen comrade. This is now just fired because it's just Max. Eryk has been... Oh, Skeg forward on the Twitch has put Eryk, please.
I actually haven't seen it.
Thank you, Skegford. I don't know who Skegford is.
I don't know who Skegford is.
Well, they're the biggest fan of
on our Twitch channel. I've not seen a lot of big films. I've not seen Matrix. I've not seen Good Will Hunting. I've not seen...
I will just quickly, because we did... I did start the sentence.
Okay, sorry. Apologies.
The Truman Show, 1998, by the way. So if it's spoilers, like it's been out for a while, is about Jim Carrey plays a man called Truman who has been raised inside a TV show since he was a baby, and he has no idea. He has no idea that he's been constantly watched for the entirety of his life. And like, it's a fantastic movie because the director is kind of like this God figure, but also father figure, but also completely unhinged because he let this show happen. And there's like all the actors you can like pay to be an extra in the Truman Show. And this show is watched all around the world. And then Truman eventually starts to realize that his world is weird, and that something's off, and he like spots a camera or something, or he sees behind the curtain for a second, and he's like, oh my god, and he tries to leave, and they won't let him leave, and they fabricate all these mad things to stop him leaving and figuring out the truth, and it all becomes unraveled. But it's a fantastic film, and everyone should watch it. And everyone should also watch The Matrix, not because it's like incredible storytelling, but it's just a really important moment in film history, because I feel like the CGI and stuff possibly doesn't hold up now, but for like at the time was stunning, right, and really important. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've not seen The Matrix, you've not seen Good Will Hunting. What other knife are you going to drive into my heart?
I've not seen Donnie Darko. Not seen that.
Oh, I've not seen that either. So that's fine.
I've not seen a lot of big films. Okay,
Have you seen The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I've seen those multiple times. The Hobbit, multiple times. Star Wars, yeah. Marvel, all the Marvel films. All the big films I've seen about science fiction, but I've not seen like Space Odyssey. I've not seen that. I've not seen.
The thing is with Space Odyssey is that there is a spoof version of the theme, the orchestral theme, where everyone in the orchestra swaps instruments.
Okay.
And it's so funny, but it's ruined it for me. Okay. I can't watch it because it's not nearly as good as the parody version.
Yeah.
Same with also, and this is a tangent, Twilight. The parody of Twilight is incredibly good. I think it's called Vampires Suck.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
And it's fantastic. We have gone on a tangent.
Yeah, we have, but it's fine. This is Shots Fired. That's what we do.
Oh, please tell me you've seen Pulp Fiction.
I have seen Pulp Fiction. I do. Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite directors. So I've seen most of Quentin Tarantino's films. Django Unchained. I've seen Pulp Fiction. I've not seen Reservoir Dogs. Okay. I've not seen Kill Bill.
Oh, I love Kill Bill.
Yeah, I've not seen
Kill Bill. No. And Kill Bill 2 are one of the like rare instances where both films are equally as brilliant. Like the sequel isn't weaker. I've
seen bits of Kill Bill, but I've not seen. Like all of Kill. I've seen bits of Kill Bill. Yeah. So it was very. It's very. It was but Hateful Eight. I've seen that, but that's a bad film. I don't like Hateful Eight. Inglourious Bastards, my favorite Quentin Tarantino film.
I will say also, and this is gonna possibly like rip my DMs, but Pulp Fiction is one of the worst films I've ever seen.
That's gonna be a GIF now.
It is so fucking boring, and it's so far up its own ass. It wears itself as a hat. I couldn't think of a worse way to spend 2 hours and a half or 3 hours than watching Pulp Fiction. Fuck me dead. No thanks. I'd rather go to the dentist. I've upset Skegford already in the comments. But get fucked. Maybe that's our poll. Pulp Fiction, yay or nay?
Yeah. So, okay.
Best Tarantino films. Who knows?
Right. I think that's the show. I think that's it. I think that's the show. We got to cut it there, guys.
30 minutes and friendship's ruined.
I see. The thing about Pulp Fiction, one thing I don't like about Pulp Fiction, and I don't like that about any movies, is I have to work for it because it makes you work because you have to like put the film together because the scenes aren't like the main scenes aren't in chronological order, and you have to put it together, and it's quite a interesting concept. But when you do put it together, it's like, go on.
No, I will say that as a woman or someone who is perceived as a woman, non-binary, it's all a bit weird. Anyway, as a woman, if a man says to me his favorite film is Pulp Fiction, Fight Club, or probably something else like that.
I have seen Fight Club. I have seen it.
If a man says to me his favorite film is like Pulp Fiction or Fight Club or something like that, I'm like, get away from me. You would murder me in my sleep. I think American Psycho is borderline because some guys love it because it's like, ooh, what an alpha. And there's like Andrew Tate nonsense. And then some guys love it because it's so ridiculous and quite camp. Like my partner loves American Psycho because he loves all the memes that are made of American Psycho of him like walking dramatically down a corridor listening to anime girls singing or like Meghan Trainor or whatever, because he loves that it's so camp and make funnable. But if a man in genuine seriousness is like, oh yeah, Fight Club's just really deep, you wouldn't get it, I'm like, get the fuck away from me, you're gonna spike my drink. I don't need to know anything about you've never called your mother since you left home. Like,
I mean, I've watched Fight Club, right, and I didn't get it. I watched it and I wasn't impressed with the with the concept of it, which was a bit, I don't know, people are like, oh my God, Fight Club's amazing. You don't talk about Fight Club when you're in Fight Club. I'm like, dude, I just didn't get it. Like,
it's not real.
Oh, Shutter Island, I've seen Shutter Island.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen Shutter? Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I'll be honest with you. I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good one to say that you've seen.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen majority of Christopher Nolan stuff. So like Interstellar, which I need to rewatch it. Interstellar. It's been on my mind for such a long time. And I've obviously seen The Batman. I'm really excited for Oppenheimer, which is going to come out this year. But yeah.
Wait, what's your favorite Batman? That's a good.
My favorite Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Christian Bale.
Okay.
I like Christian Bale. I like the Christian Bale Batman. I like films with meanings. I like films with like depth and that had, depth. I've seen The Flash yesterday. And I obviously had two Batmen, obviously the Ben Affleck Batman and Michael Keaton Batman. It's not a spoiler. There's been trailers and posters. And they're both equally as good as each other. Ben Affleck, what's his name? Christian Bale Batman. He just hits different, I think. I could go into my psychology of my likes for superhero films for another half an hour, but we just don't have the time. Yeah. What about you? Favorite Batman?
Mine's maybe controversial. The Robert Pattinson one.
Oh,
it was so good.
Grunge
I thought
the
it was
movie.
Brilliant. Yeah, and also like Paul Dano.
Yeah.
Dano, the Riddler.
Yeah, the Riddler.
Stunning.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. That film was amazing. Like that film was really good. Like the first 15 minutes of that film, I had goosebumps. I was like, I'm scared of Batman. Like it made me fear the dark when it was coming through, and the music and the tone. Chef's Kiss. I can't wait for the next installment.
Like I still think about the car chase scene.
Yeah.
Because I'm very picky with action movies because if you said to me, would you like to watch John Wick? I'd be like, no, I'm going to go to my gynecologist instead because it's so boring. Just get a new dog.
John Wick.
Like,
whoa!
John Wick. Just get a new dog.
Just get a new dog.
Yeah, like it's so boring. It's like, oh, I'm on revenge and I'm going to kill a bunch of people. Cool, fine, boring. But if you give me an action film that's got like a psychological thriller twist, I will eat that up.
They killed John Wick's dog. That's.
It's fucking Marley and Me, but with guns.
It's not. But don't even bring that up. Don't even bring Marley and Me up. That's a beautiful film. That has.
Homeward Bound with guns.
I'm going to change the title of this episode to It's just John Wick's dog. Get over it.
It's just get a new fucking dog. The RSPC shelters are full.
I don't know. I can't believe what I'm hearing here.
Yeah, I love saying this.
Today proves to me that you think you know someone. Clearly.
Yeah. We'll set Skegford again in the comments, but it's like everyone has their cross to bear, and mine is my impeccable opinions.
I love whoever is Skegford. I'm loving this, loving the interaction.
Please never leave.
Please don't leave us.
Oh God. Yeah. So having driven a wedge between that's the best description of John Wick, Marley and Me with guns. Thank you. See, I'm right. So there you go. Having driven a wedge between our friendship, what do you want to do next? We've got like some more, since you've been gone, we've got some geeky stuff, which we've done a little bit of. We've got our domestic bliss. We've got some current affairs, but not in our marriage.
Yeah, let's go. Let's briefly touch on domestic bliss.
Okay. After you
have the first point. You brought it up. I'm just backing the point up with my opinion.
I've been talking for a few minutes. I wondered if you wanted the floor, but sure, okay. I'll talk more. Basically, my job, my team are great. The job itself sucks ass because the general public are animals, especially when it's hot. Literally last night there was a fist fight in the theatre and one of my colleagues got assaulted, punched in the face by a man who was angry that we wouldn't let him back into the auditorium because dancers were going to like come out of the doors and there would have been a collision and their stage management are carrying heavy stuff. Like most plays and theatres now have readmittance policies. It's like, oh, at an appropriate time when there's no one running around, we can get you back in, but you just have to wait. You can watch it on a screen. But this man was so imprisoned and discriminated against that he assaulted my colleague and the police were called and everything. The general public are terrible. Like, people are good. The general public, as soon as they go anywhere and demand some kind of service, my lord, they turn into animals. It's mad. And it's just like working nights. There's all the socializing that happens as an adult happens at night. Like your pottery class and your taekwondo group and your mates meeting up at the pub. Like that happens traditionally after the 9 to 5. So it's just a bit gross. Yeah, that's my moan about my job, my domestic bliss or domestic miss. It's my domestic miss.
That's the thing. I think we chose different career paths, and as you said, that's why Shots Fired gets recorded at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Yeah, because we have no other time to meet up in the week. I work a 8 to 4 job. You work I
work 4 till midnight.
4 till midnight. So in the week there is no time to record Shots Fired. Whereas I have those weekends, I have those evenings to show socials and do things, and it's hard, man. And I get what you mean. Like as soon as it gets hot, it's chaos. And at the same time, I feel like as soon as it gets cold, even or starts raining, people also become idiots too.
Yeah, it's just the British and the weather.
Yeah.
The classic bromance. Yeah. British people and the weather.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but
I will, I'm quite lucky in my line of work that I managed to negotiate in my contract Saturdays off. And I will say that since having Saturdays off, my mental health has been much better. Because even though I'm working like the same sort of hours, because I make up the time doing kitchen shifts and all this kind of thing, like it is better because I do actually get to see my partner and I get to be out in the hours of daylight and I can do this, but it's tough out there.
How so does your partner work also the same times as you or not?
No, so Joe works I tell everyone that he works in telly because understanding his job requires a degree that I did not take.
Okay.
But he's a broadcast engineer. That's his actual title. And he works as a sort of support staff within a big company. And they have like a podcast studio. They have a television studio. And like he's mostly, I joke that he's just turning things off and on again. I don't think I'm wrong. But then again, I never do. But he works, like he leaves at like 8 a.m. and gets back at 7.
Yeah.
It's a long day because we have an hour commute as well. And I believe that we should be paid for our commute time because I'm a dirty, dirty socialist, apparently. Apparently that's what that means. But yeah, so I don't see him unless sort of it's the weekend. Though I will say this weekend, he's up north in Newcastle having a lovely time with the boys. Lewis's birthday. Lads. So shout out to the lads, Antonia, who are bevving on South Shields Beach, having a lovely time. And I hope that he took sunscreen with him because he's ginger and the sun hates him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's cool.
I see my partner when the stars align and the prophecy is fulfilled.
How does that make you feel?
I know it's not forever. And like, I have to keep telling myself like, it's not forever, but also, God, it feels like a long time. I think it's been like 8 months, 9 months. And it's just like, I've been looking for other things. I've been looking to climb that corporate ladder, looking for a 9-to-5, like as an administrator within theatre or whatever. But it's always like, can't get experience without experience.
Yeah.
And although I know how to use Microsoft Office, I haven't ever used it for a job. And so therefore I'm not qualified, and it's very frustrating. Just all these qualifications
qualifications
that you can't get until someone like just takes a chance on you, and that's hard. Yeah.
No.
That's my moan over.
No, and I get that, and I feel like it's. I personally feel like it's finding the right balance, and I'm really glad that. I've got a cough.
Oh,
sorry. It's
we are professionals.
I have hay fever, and I forgot to take all my medications this morning. So great me. I think that it's quite lovely to see that you both of you have still got time to see each other and spend time with each other, even if you've got such busy lives, and both of you are working towards your own goals and careers, which is amazing to see.
But we definitely we make time for each other.
Yeah.
And like sometimes he will stay up late just to see me and ask me how my day was, make me a cup of tea, and then he'll crawl into bed.
Yeah.
And like there's a thing that I heard of, like I read about, called bids, like emotional bids. You make emotional bids to your partner all the time. Yeah. For instance, if like you say, "Oh, look at that beautiful bird," and your partner doesn't give a shit about birds, but they know that you do. And if they just turn their head and go, "That's a nice bird," that's a bid offered and a bid received. And it's those that keep a marriage going. And people bid all the time.
Yeah.
And so you've got to learn what your partner's like bids are, because it's meeting those little things that show that you are caring and having your little routines. Like you have to work for that. You have to choose that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really deep for a Saturday morning. That's quite deep.
What else should we talk about?
Let's just jump into current affairs. Let's just go with current affairs, because you've got
jump into current affairs.
Yeah, before I start crying. This is the main part of the show. So there's something big happening in London today. Am I correct?
Yes, there is. West End Live is happening today and tomorrow in the centre of London, Trafalgar Square, centre of Theatreland. And for those who don't know, West End Live is a free event. It is free, and you can see snapshots of basically every single West End play for free, all weekend. They have a huge sort of like stage set up in Trafalgar Square, and which is just by Charing Cross. And you, it's first come, first serve for a ticket. And people will queue up from like 7 a.m, 6 a.m, and it starts at like 11 a.m. or something, or 12. And every musical has like a small window of performance. So big ones like Wicked has 5 minutes because they'll sing Defying Gravity and then they'll leave, because that's what everyone cares about for Wicked. And it's also like a marketing thing of like, did you like this? Come see the show, come see the whole thing. But like new shows get a bit longer. And shows that are like sweeping all the awards will get a bit longer. And it doesn't matter if you are Les Mis or Phantom of the Opera, these massive shows that have been going on for multiple decades, or if you are a new musical that's been going on for 3 weeks, everyone gets time.
Yeah.
And I just smacked my microphone, so I don't know if that came through, because I'm so passionate.
You love it.
Love it. So just running through really quickly, today, we've got Frozen, The Lion King, Wicked, Wizard of Oz, Moulin Rouge, Grease the musical, Tina Turner musical, Crazy for You, Cabaret, Book of Mormon, Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis, Hamilton, Oklahoma, Aspects of Love, Jersey Boys, Operation Mincemeat, Mamma Mia, Glory Ride, The Choir of Man, Six, Divas London, Magic Mike Live, love that. Followed by Matilda, Roles Will Never.
Wow, what's that?
What a mood change. Roles Will Never Play, The Little Big Things, Annie Get Your Gun, La Bamba, Vocal Extreme, Kion Hersey in concert, I Wish My Life Were a Musical, Then, Now and Next, Lizzie the Musical, Hiba El Chique, and the finale at 5 p.m. And like tomorrow, there's a couple of repeats, but there's completely new shows tomorrow. There's Heather's, 42nd Street, Tarantino Live, Spitting Image the Musical, We Will Rock You, Back to the Future, Death Note the Musical, Time Traveler's Wife the Musical, Showstopper the Improvised Musical, Queens, the show with balls, The Barricade Boys, Treason, Babies, Ride, SpongeBob Musical, Leon Jones, Rachel Tucker, Westway Music Presents, and G4. And there's also a couple of repeats like Magic Mike's going again, Matilda's going again, and some other things. Like, for free. For nothing,
no money. You just walk in.
You turn up, you grab a space, and you go crazy. And like, it's like what you were saying with the whole like football fan community camaraderie. Everyone gets on hype. It's the same because everyone's there because they just love musicals. And like, also huge shout out to the tech team and the stage team and the stage management, because they like the turnaround between each show is like a minute. Like if you saw again, we're mentioning Eurovision. If you saw the behind the scenes footage of the stagehands changing all of the set for Eurovision in 15 seconds with 50 people just spinning plates, it's the same vibe. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I can't get over the fact that it's free.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And it's just like, it's so good. And that's a massive, massive thing that people put in their calendars, like the year in advance.
That's figures. I've only heard of this now. You telling me this now because I love musicals. I love the theatre. I love watching it. And if I knew about this, I would have definitely come down. But I don't know. I don't know how does that word get around? Like,
well, it's one of these things. Like, I mean, you were talking about like in the football, Southampton got relegated and somebody else won and somebody lost 3 things in a row or something. Just because in the community, that's information that gets shared about. It's kind of the same thing. If you work in theatre or if you love theatre, you're in the forums, you're on the Reddit page, you're in the Tumblr, you're on the Instagram, you're following.
Reddit's dead, by the way. But
I know Reddit's dead, but you know, you've got to touch all. It's been migrated to Tumblr, and I love it.
Yeah.
I am an active user on Tumblr, and I'm not ashamed of this.
We should talk about it in a minute.
Okay. Like you follow the people that you care about, I suppose. And so that's sort of how word gets around. But like with most art forms, word of mouth is one of the most powerful tools, because you can, like, anyone can pay for advertising to reach people's Instagram algorithms. But if a real human being that you know says, oh, I saw this and I loved it, you're much more likely to give it the time of day than if they curate a trailer on Instagram and just shove it into your ad space. Because we're so desensitized to ads. So like, and it's funny, like that's how it works with podcasts as well. Please rate and review us. But yeah, so that's just how it happens. But you know, now that you know about West End Live, you might come and see it sometime, and you would tell other people about it.
Is it an annual thing, or is it a?
Yeah, it's an annual thing, and you can watch previous ones online.
Can you?
They'll post. Yeah, they'll post like bits of it online, and like, you know, when they say like, oh, We Will Rock You appearing at the Royal Variety, and they do a 10-minute medley. It's like that, but for 2 whole days.
Right. Okay.
So like, there's footage of it everywhere. Yeah, and it's just
definitely give it a go.
Great.
Definitely
great
give
vibes.
it a go.
Reddit migration.
Reddit. So I've only learnt about this on Saturday.
We need to give context. We need to give context for people who won't know what this is.
Well, exactly. I've only learnt about this on Saturday, so I'm going to give you the context because I feel like you're more engaged, involved, and passionate about this. I don't really use Reddit. I'll be honest with you. I've never used Reddit in my life. I have it on my phone, but I don't know why I have it. I want to get rid of it. I want to delete it. So what happened? What is going on? Why is Reddit dead?
I am not the Reddit expert that you think I am.
Oh, okay.
But
is Skegford a Reddit expert? Skegford a Reddit expert?
I mean, I have used Reddit. I used Reddit for when I was building my PC. I joined a few Reddits to like ask questions about that. And then I've used it for like crochet patterns and community, like reaching out to like small communities that I'm interested in. But I found that Reddit as a culture is very toxic, because if you go onto Reddit and say, how do I tie my shoelaces? Like, a lot of people are going to be like, you can't fucking tie your shoelaces. Like, what the hell? Like, go kill yourself. Like, it's bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Whereas, and there are specific, yeah, thank you. Skegford's like, yes. And there are specific subreddits, which are like forums, where you could be like, which would be called, like, there's one that's called Explain Like I'm 5. And it's like, people ask genuine questions and they get genuine responses 99% of the time. Like, say if they got 100 comments, 99% of them be like, here's one method to tie your shoelaces that I use. But there will be a lot of other comments that are like, explain like I'm 5, more like, explain like I'm 1. What an idiot. Like, just people go out of their way to be cruel. It's very odd. And then I actually do know more about this than I thought I did.
I know you know more than me. Well, yeah, carry on.
Another thing is that there's like, forums have moderators.
Yeah. And
I think there's a lack of moderators kind of going on. So a lot of like shitty comments are just not being filtered out. And that discourages people from interacting with the community. And so in the algorithm, it gets like less boosted or whatever. It appears on less people's front pages, and so less people know about it, and then it's not active, so people leave that subreddit. And then I think recently, and I learned about this from a Tumblr post, because all of the Reddit users, like, you might have seen it on TikTok, you might have seen it on Reddit, but it's like best of Tumblr.
Yeah.
Funny compilations of things said on Tumblr. And now Reddit users just been like, I'm kind of cut out the middleman and just go to Tumblr. Because also Reddit's changed a load of stuff in their data protection, data distribution, data privacy settings and stuff. And it's now not easy to privatize your data.
Right.
And I think and this is where I become uncertain. I think there's some influence about what's going on Twitter and the whole like selling internet like getting internet points for being famous and paying for subscriptions for things.
Right, like a tick, like a blue tick for it.
Yeah, even fucking Snapchat has a premium version now, and I'm like, are you joking?
Yeah, like, it does.
Yeah, and Reddit's had that for a while, where you have your little like avatar and you can pay real money to get a little hat on your
Snapchat Plus, I think it's called.
Yeah, maybe I'm just too millennial for it. I'm just like, fuck this. But I don't know that anybody's getting behind it. And so everyone's moving to Tumblr, because Tumblr has every social media platform has its own problems. Tumblr are making its user interface not very user friendly in their new updates, because that's what they think people want. But everyone's like, nah, just leave it how it is. But yeah, and like, but the thing is that when everyone left Twitter to go to Reddit, everyone was like, oh, these hoes ain't loyal. Like, Twitter's a hellscape, and now you've jumped from the frying pan into the fire because this website's also horrible. And it was very toxic, and it was like, oh, you're not a real Redditor because you were on Twitter first. But everyone moving from Reddit to Tumblr has been like, welcome. Here's how to use Tumblr. Here's how to optimize your settings. Reddit was bad. We don't want it to be bad here, so let's all be nice to each other. Buck wild, can you imagine? So yeah, that is the great Reddit migration that's happening.
And I think I feel
like I might have lost people, but
have you?
I don't know, but like I don't know if any of the audience is like. I'm sure my mum's like, what are they talking about?
I think we should ask. I'm going to put an open question into our next poll of what do you think about Reddit being dead, and see what the audience say if they think, and we can get back to. We could put a pin in this. Put a pin in this. Let me find a pin.
Okay. Dead Reddit, dead Twitter. Long live Tumblr.
Dead it. Skeg Ford. You are literally today. You are.
Your shoulders must hurt from carrying this. Hashtag dead it.
Hashtag dead it from Skeg Ford. Amazing. So we will get everyone's opinion on this and put a pin in this for next thing. But yeah, I mean, I've just never been a fan of Reddit. I don't know. I think as a teenager, I never went onto the hype of Reddit or Tumblr or anything like that. Like I think I wanted to write stuff, but I was never a writer. And yeah, it was very interesting. It was very interesting to hear that it was dying, because I know loads of people use it, and yeah, you know, Twitter went the same way. All right, am I boring you that much?
I just yawned really big. I'm so sorry. You're not boring me. I've just been lip reading for a bit. That's all. Twitter
has gone the same way. It used to be really, really cool, and then people just Elon fucked it. Elon shagged Twitter, and I was just that's a lie. No, I take that back.
That's a 180.
180. Nothing's
Elon Musk did nothing wrong.
What's changed on Twitter?
The whole culture of it.
Has it?
How people talk to each other and how people interact, and then also this Twitter Blue, Twitter verified, giving. So the thing was, for people who don't know, is that you had to pay to get the blue verified tick, which used to be this is a legitimate person. Say it's a celebrity, and you want to follow a celebrity. There's going to be loads of imposter accounts. There's going to be loads of fan accounts, fake accounts impersonating that person.
Yeah.
And so to know that you were genuinely following Stephen Fry, or I don't know, Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel ships, they would have a blue tick to show that they are legit. But now you can buy a blue tick.
Oh.
And so it takes away the validity of that thing. And also I think it was once you had a certain amount of followers, you would get a blue tick. So people who back in the day, when being famous on social media, pre-influencer, but sorry babe, am I boring you? Eryk just did a big yawn.
I did a big yawn, but I covered my mouth.
Yeah, I didn't do that. You can all see my teeth. But back in the day when having loads of followers was important for making money, I think that still might be the case. I don't really know. I'm not famous, so I don't know. But
not yet.
Not yet. But being Twitter verified was important, and now you can just buy it.
Right.
And then another thing is that. So everyone's blue ticks got removed once this new system was put in place. And then loads of celebrities came out and were like, I didn't buy a blue tick, but I have one. Is this a bug? And then it was later revealed, as in the same day, 12 hours later, that Elon Musk had just given certain accounts a blue tick.
Right.
Because it's also these people endorse what I'm doing because they've paid the money to get the blue tick. But they were I didn't pay for this. Don't fucking put that on me.
Yeah.
So he upset a lot of, and it's not just when I say celebrities, I don't just mean film stars and actors and musicians. I mean important financial institutions, presidential Congress people, politicians, high-ranking bankers and historical novelists, journalists, people who genuinely have a say in how the world kind of works. They were we didn't pay for this. Stop it at once. So he's really rocked the boat with that.
I have a controversial question.
Yeah, go on.
Should Donald Trump have been removed from Twitter?
I am personally freedom of speech, yes. Freedom of consequence, no. You can say whatever you want, but if people get mad at you, you have to be prepared for that. Whether someone should be banned, I don't know the answer, but my instinct says no, because freedom of speech. And like they can go to where, like, he set up his own Truth Social anyway.
Yeah, is it Truth Social? Is it called? I can't remember what it's called.
I think it's called Truth Social. It's that cringe.
It's cringe.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't think that anyone should be banned from the internet because China does that. Like, no one should have resources stripped from them.
Yeah.
Like, because that's I feel like this might sound a bit cooked, but banning someone from the internet, burning books, like there's a leap there. It's not exactly the same, but it's the whole thing of removing someone from the discourse just because of who they are, what they say, their race, their religion, their ethnicity, whatever it is. They don't get this thing the whole world gets.
Yeah.
And like set the censorship, basically, rightly or wrongly, it's censorship. And I think that if we, like, I don't like cancel culture at all. I don't agree with it, because if we just cancel people, whatever that means, like, it leaves no room for growth as a human being. If we're just like, well, we're not going to talk to you anymore because you disagree with us.
And that's I probably 100% agree with you on this point. But I'm not a big fan of cancel culture because recently I think cancel culture has been too quick off the draw. Okay. You know, but there's not all the information has been there, and people have already cancelled someone because of what they read online, but actually, the evidence hasn't been there or whatever. I can't really give an example of that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, people can make their own opinions, and I don't like being told who I should like and who I should not like, Yeah. I think
also, sorry, go on.
No, go, Karen.
I was just going to say that if you don't like what someone says on the internet, close the fucking tab.
Yeah,
just don't look at it.
Yeah, if you don't like someone's music, don't listen to it. If you don't like someone's books, don't read them. Like,
if you don't like someone's politics, don't vote for them.
Exactly. Oh, like, yeah.
Funny.
Like people get so annoyed about politicians and get so annoyed about stuff like that. And it's like, well, actually, you can quite easily make the change by voting for someone else or whatever. Or
but the thing is but with politics, you have to be active in it. So with other kinds of cancel culture, the solution is being inactive,
passive.
By not engaging. But with politics, it's the reverse. You have to engage in the reverse.
And I do feel like we are in a society. Yeah.
Actively vote. You have to actively vote for whoever is, in your opinion, a better candidate, because otherwise, if you get apathy and no one votes, then nothing fucking changes.
I do think we are in a social culture where people just don't give a shit. People don't care. Especially with politics, people will moan about it. People incessantly moan about it in the house. They'll moan about it on the streets, in the pub. But when it goes, oh, are you going to vote tomorrow? No, I'm busy. We're doing what? Like, it takes...
I had people say to me at work, oh, I didn't know enough about it, so I didn't vote. And I'm like, Google is free.
Yeah, free. like Western life, free.
Free. And it's not even first come, first serve.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, okay, I understand not wanting to make an uninformed decision. Great self-awareness that you didn't know enough. But there's a very simple solution in that you just do your research. Because, like, not taking proactive, like, responsibility, societal responsibility to vote, that you have no right to moan. Like, I grew up with a girl who refused to vote, and I was like, but, like, suffragettes fought for your right to vote, and she was like, well, they fought for my right to choose to vote. And I'm like, it's so much more than that, though, because if you don't vote, like, you can't moan, and she was choosing to vote out of apathy because she just didn't want to get involved with politics. And it's like, but politics wants to get involved with you.
Oh yeah. If politics have it their way, at the end of the day, if politics have it their way, they will do whatever they want to do. Like, look at America stripping rights for LGBTQ for women, LGBTQ,
LGHDTV.
LGBTQ plus communities, women, same in Poland, same in America, very Western capitalistic countries, stripping rights of people because you don't want to get involved. So,
and also it's becoming a business is why.
Oh yeah, I mean, is June LGBTQ plus month? Am I right?
Yeah.
And and everywhere, every company has a rainbow logo.
I meant like politics is becoming about business. Oh, but yeah, sure, you're not wrong. Pride Month has also been like horribly capitalized.
Yeah. I've seen rainbow M&Ms. I've seen all the
M&Ms. I'm sorry, M&Ms were already a rainbow.
Yeah, but like the logos and stuff, not the actual thing. But I've seen every single person change their logo to a rainbow. Oh shit, we haven't changed our logo to a rainbow. Does that mean that we're homophobic? No.
Yes, me as a queer person.
Yeah. We have yellow, red, and blue in our logo. But you know what I mean?
Orange.
Like an orange. You know what I mean? Like it's and light blue and black and white.
That's most of the rainbow. For a colorblind person, we're well in 90% of there.
But yeah, so it's Karen.
Sorry, we keep getting excited and talking over each other. But the pride is a protest. That's what it is. And I saw a fantastic Twitter thread that was like, why is there no straight pride? Why is there no straight pride flag? Why is there no straight pride march? And it's like, well, fundamentally, pride is the opposite of shame. And the reason that there's no straight pride is because straight people have never been shamed historically for being straight. They've never been like, I don't know where to meet other people like me. I don't know if this is a safe space to talk about being me. I can't get a job historically because of who I love. Like that's not been the straight experience. And so like I've come across straight people being like at work this month being like, where's the straight pride? And I'm like, you've missed the point. Yeah. So that, and don't get me wrong, pride is not perfect. It's become very commercialized. And I went to a queer event that was not focused on love. It was focused on revenge against like straight culture and like the police, and it was very hateful and I did not like it. And I left because it was not what I went there for. So there's definitely imperfections within pride for sure, but like I feel like the whole pride as a protest is kind of being lost a bit by the like, let's put a rainbow on all of our like logos so that gay people can buy from us. And like I don't wear a rainbow pin to like broadcast my sexuality. I wear a rainbow pin so that like the 12-year-old walking past me in the street knows that if needed, I'm a safe place for them to go to. Like that my neighbors on the street, if any of them needed a safe place to go to, then I've broadcast myself as a safe place for them to be. That's for me what it should be. The like rainbowification of places. And like we've got very deep for this, so I think we should tie this up in a bow.
Let's climb out of this deep hole.
Let's tie this up in a rainbow ribbon and put it to bed.
Yeah. No, I get you.
I have happy news. This is a very wholesome podcast today. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I feel like we've got very, very deep today in something.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. But I have really good news.
Okay,
I have some really happy news.
Go on.
So, I'm deaf. I never talk about
it. What?
Yeah, that's a lie. I'm deaf. I use BSL. It's kind of becoming a first language on par with spoken English because I had a bit about this. Okay, so I had speech language therapy throughout university to retain my speech to sound normal, which part of me regrets, part of me doesn't. And I have hearing aids in both ears, but I currently have a hole in my eardrum, so I can't actually wear them right now. Hole caused by hearing aids. It's a whole thing. And I use BSL. And a boy called Daniel Gillings. Oh, wow.
That's me.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah,
it's you. Okay, it's you putting a message.
Yeah.
So a boy called Daniel Gillings in 2018, 17, he was 12. And he started campaigning for a BSL GCSE because he wanted to take a GCSE in his native language. Great. Yesterday, so that was 2018. Yesterday, the government released a consultation about the BSL GCSE. Mad, which basically means they've come up with a curriculum and they're now throwing it out to the general public to get feedback. And every deaf person is like, oh, because this is massive. BSL was only recognized as a language in 1996, and it was only recognised as a legal language of the UK with equal standing to Welsh and English March 2022. Last year.
Wow.
Was it given legal status, protected status as a language of the UK? This is current affairs. This is not like, in the 20th century, people were campaigning for stuff. This is today, now.
This is fresh, hot off the press.
Hot tea. And so, basically, people are going onto the government website. They type in their feedback to the curriculum, proposed curriculum, and they send it off. And if enough people do it, it will happen.
Right.
So, if you just search GCSE BSL consultation or something, it should come up. And you can provide feedback. And it literally says, this is what we think we'd teach. This is what we think would happen. This is what we think about it. And it's really exciting. It's really important. So that's fantastic news. That just this one boy really, obviously he had help, but it takes a village. Like this boy, Daniel, really championed the way for this GCSE to happen. I think it's superb.
So if what would you like the viewers of Shots Fired to go and do now about this? Would you like to go search that and do what?
Share it like the coronavirus.
Okay.
Share it like the plague. If you feel you're able to, go onto the consultation link and just click through all of the information. Provide any feedback you genuinely think would be you have, and a personal thing. But this is also my opinion. I'm not telling everyone they have to have this opinion. But 15% of the GCSE is proposed to be BSL history, which is fine. But also deaf awareness, deaf culture, the history of the language, the effect on religious groups upon the shaping of BSL, and the current barriers that deaf people face. That should also be in there. And deaf culture, the fact that deaf people have sign names, but that's something that's very personal. And if you are given a sign name by the deaf community, that's an in, but you have to be given it. You can't just give yourself a sign name. It must be given to you by a member of the deaf community. All of these, and it's also train deaf people to be teachers. Let deaf people teach our language because we know it the best. and like they'll like, but with that, there needs to be support for deaf people going through PGCEs. There needs to be more funding, more interpreters. So it all kind of spirals out into this big web of support for the wider community, because you can't teach unless you have teachers, and you need someone to train them, and you need funding to be available to train them. And so it all comes down to money, as it always bloody does. But yeah, if anyone in the Shots Fired community feels willing and able, just share the link. Just spread awareness, because someone might know someone who might know someone who is deaf who would want to see it, or someone might have a deaf aunt or a deaf friend, a deaf babysitter they used to have. Just spreading all the awareness. And if you feel willing and able, completing the form with feedback, highlighting the importance of deaf culture, deaf barriers, and training for deaf teachers. Thank you and good night.
Well, there we go. That is your incredible pitch about that. And I feel like I'm going to, after this, I will go in further format, because I feel like I know you, and I know quite a few other people that are affected by this. And I feel like it's important to properly and update the curriculum to what it is today. I feel like a school curriculum should be something that is definitely always evolving with the times. And I feel like since we are now more open about it, and we are talking about it more, it should be something that should be discussed in schools, taught in schools, because it's a very useful skill, because you never know. It helps you communicate with more people than usually, Think about it like, I originally am Polish, but if I just was Polish and not be able to speak English, I won't be able to speak to other people. And if learning the language of BSL, you open yourself to new people, new experiences. And also, you never know where you're going to need it. You never know when you're going to need it, because you could be somewhere on a train, on a bus, or in a different country. Obviously BSL is BSL. I'm guessing BSL is not universal. Is it?
No, it's so sign language. Every country has their own sign language. Mm-hmm. Within Britain, there are distinct accents due to religious groups historically doing what religious groups do, mm-hmm. And creating subcultures with their own rules. But you'll often find that deaf people know more than one sign language. Like I know a bit of ASL, American Sign Language, and BSL and Australian Sign Language are remarkably similar because colonialism. So it's this whole rich subculture that people just don't know about. I'm trying to find the link to the government website that we can give to people. I'll do that later.
Yeah. We'll share it on our social medias.
Yeah. So BSL is not universal, but I will say that if I'm in a shop and I'm wearing my "I'm deaf, please be patient" badge, mm-hmm. and the cashier, however slowly, mm-hmm. however thoughtfully, just goes, "You want a bag," or "You find everything," or "You want receipt," pay how, no matter how long it takes them, it makes my day.
Yeah.
It means so much. The bar is so low.
You're not expecting a conversation, you just want some thought.
Yeah. It's just wonderful, because also a lot of people know sign language because their aunt's deaf, or their brother's deaf, or they're deaf, or their great granny was deaf, or they have a child that's deaf. Mm-hmm. It's very centric to a I know someone therefore bubble. Whereas if you think about football, everyone knows about football. None of my family really play football, but I still know about it. I can still talk about it. It's very common mainstream knowledge. Whereas BSL and deaf culture just isn't. Different example, Shakespeare. Everyone's heard of Shakespeare. Some people have never read a Shakespeare. Some people hate Shakespeare. Some people have have never like been to see a show, but everyone knows who he is. It's normal knowledge that's not relevant to everyone's lives, but it's still normal knowledge. And so that's the goal, is to get BSL into the mainstream, deaf awareness, deaf culture into the mainstream, so that it's more accessible and better funded, and then more people speak it, and then there's more interpreters, and everything's just better. I will get off my soapbox.
No. It's good. It's good because you know it's good to raise awareness of this thing, because I don't think, again, before you spoke about it today, I wasn't aware of it. I didn't know about it. So it's
and like that's fine. Like that's fine. Like it's not like how can people not know about this? Because just if no one tells you, how can you know?
Is it also distance? Like going back to like spreading awareness of things, do you think living in London, you know about this thing more, or is it only because you are in that network, that culture network?
I think it's the deaf culture. It's not about living in London, because deaf communities exist all over the UK, and there's sort of small pockets, and there's specialist deaf schools. Deaf events. There's a whole deaf film festival happening next week. There's a deaf poet laureate. Like it's a whole world that people just don't know about. So it's not so much a London thing. It's everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, tell me about the Flash film. We've got maybe how long left? Normally we do an hour 45.
Yeah, we've got about 10 minutes. I'd say 10 minutes. It's been a very deep, meaningful show.
Been a deep one.
We've got content. We've got content here.
Yeah. I will also say very quickly, I'm very sorry I just interrupted. The title is
Sports of All Sorts. Yeah.
Sports of All Sorts. We've talked a bit about sport, but also I will say that Sports of All Sorts is a quote from a very famous play called Waiting for Godot, very famous Lucky speech. The character's called Lucky, and he says, tennis, sports of all sorts, quite a few times. So there's your hook for theatre people. They'll know.
They'll know. It's, again, a small aspect of things.
Small aspect. More geek stuff. Tell me about the
more
Flash.
Geek stuff. So Geek Stuff, our new segment, Geek Stuff, where we talk about all things geeky and all things fun and exciting that's in this. So this could be anything from films to comic books to theatre to music. D&D. D&D. That's Dungeons and Dragons for those that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And also like weird ass facts that we can nerd out about.
Yeah.
Like I've got a fact about babies that will blow your mind.
I can't wait for it. Okay. So the Flash film, I'm not going to give you any spoilers. No spoilers here.
Right.
So for those of you that want to see the Flash, I went to see it yesterday and it was really, really good. I enjoyed myself. I really did enjoy myself. And a bit of backstory. So obviously James Gunn, who is the person that made Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, 2, and 3. He's been with Marvel for a long time. The backstory of James Gunn is quite interesting because we spoke about cancel culture a bit. So when he was making Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, James Gunn had been cancelled by people on Twitter. So someone went back to the old days of what he said on Twitter, dug up the graves of like what he said, reposted it, and then the internet went wild.
Did what the internet did.
Yeah. And then because of all the thing people have said, Disney and Marvel Studios decided to fire James Gunn. Right. They fired him because originally James Gunn, when they were making plans, was meant to like be the creative director of like the space stuff of Marvel. So Marvel have like a lot of space stuff, and they were going to give him like creative control. But because of these tweets, they fired him. there was a lot of back and forth of, will there be a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? And in the end, because of the tweet's nature, they said, yes, there will. So they brought it back for that film. But then he's like, no, after this, I'm done. Because of this, he then went to DC, obviously the rival to Marvel. Mm-hmm. And he's their version of like Kevin Feige. And for those of you that don't know, sorry, I was for those of you that don't know, Kevin Feige is obviously creative director of Marvel, so he looks at the storyline of how films are going to fit, and he creates a story. So James Gunn is going to be that person for the DC universe. So he looks at the story, sees how it's going to play out, how do all the films connect together, and create a plan. Because beforehand, when all the films were happening, it made no sense. The films didn't fit properly. There wasn't their origin story. They just mashed stuff together and made it fit, and people didn't like it. It wasn't paced enough. It was quite bad. People didn't like it. So when The Flash came out, this was when he started to have some control over some creative control, and you could probably see that because I really enjoyed it. Like it was. Like, yeah, it had issues and it had pace and it had like just different sort of odd bits and bobs. And I don't know about you, but what is it with CGI in this day and age that's so bad? Like, I'm talking about like Thor, Love and Thunder, The Flash, awful CGI. I've not seen Cats, but I've seen the memes and I know enough. Like, why is it that I can watch Transformers from 2007 or 2010 and not have a better CGI than anything people make these days? Like I just don't get it. Like I really didn't get it. But rip practical effects. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like back in the day when Star Wars was being made, Star Wars 1, 2, and 3, people were having a go at obviously Lucasfilms having so much CGI and not enough practical effects, and that's what happens now. Is like there's just so much of it, and it's like most of that film probably was made on a green screen because. But The Flash. Back to the actual point of what I'm trying to make here. The Flash, a really good film, a solid film. Like go in there with low expectations and just have fun, and you will have fun. There's nostalgia. For those people that like the Michael Keaton Batman, there is a story, and it's quite heartfelt as well. It's a quite heartfelt film at the end. I enjoyed it, which was really good. So yeah, so that's a Flash for you. So do go and see it. I've seen, what did I see recently? I've seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Is it Across the Spider-Verse?
I haven't seen that yet. Oh, I've heard good things.
Max, if you're not doing anything tonight, just go watch it.
Just go watch it.
Leave the house. Leave the house. Leave your prison. I didn't watch the first film, like Into the Spider-Verse, until last year.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say until like today.
No. Until like last year.
Backwards.
And I honestly regret not watching it at the cinema because it's such a beautiful film. This one, Across the Spider-Verse,
stunning.
The art, the art, the way they painted it, the way they made it, the way they filmed it is beautiful. The fact that they use color, which they put so much thought into every single little detail. The fact that there's one bit where, and I always mention it to everyone I speak about this film, there's one bit where there's a character and they're sad. Right? They're sad. And they use quite blue and purple paint color to demonstrate sadness and demonstrate how they feel. And then this person, then something happens to them and it's a happy moment and the color changes to like bright orange and pink and stuff like that. And it just makes me, like, I would happily watch it again. It just makes me really, really appreciate, like, people go, oh, it's an animation, it's for kids. But actually, if you think about it, it's just deeper. It's very deep, you know.
If people think that animation is just for kids, I'm like, go watch Devilman Crybaby and tell me that's for fucking kids. Like, it's a very niche anime reference there, but like animation is getting a lovely little renaissance at the moment. Skegford's looking at me like I'm unhinged. I am unhinged. Anyway, but like, so I will die on this hill. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
I've not seen it.
Like, you've got it. It's stunning. Like, again, with the animation, the art, it's really thought out. It's really beautifully made. They have lots of fun with it, and the story's gorgeous. Yeah. The villain is actually quite terrifying. As an adult, the villain is incredible.
The villain, because obviously I've seen the memes, and there's the wolf.
I'm not telling you. Okay, all right, I'm not telling you who the villain is.
Okay.
I'm not telling you about the villain.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil a single thing.
Okay.
It is, but it's a flawless film. Okay. It's like my film of the year. I feel like Spider-Man might be like up there as well, but like I think let me look at the Rotten Tomatoes for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Okay. I know about 100.
Do you want to take a guess?
A 96.
Yeah, it's 96.
There you go.
Audience score 94. Like,
that's
that
really
doesn't happen.
No.
The Flash 66%.
Yeah, I would. What's audience score?
For The Flash, 86.
Yeah, I would say it's a 70%. That's
the average of that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the Puss in Boots has incredible reviews, and it's deserved because it's stunning.
Yeah. I'm going to find where I can watch it on.
There's nothing that I would change about that film other than I wish there was more of it.
Does it rival Shrek?
Yeah. Like the original 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 if you're in the good mood.
No.
Like the one with Rumpelstiltskin's
no.
Fun. It's fun.
No. 1 and 2.
If you enjoy The Flash, you've got to enjoy number 4. Shrek.
So you're saying that this Puss in Boots rivals Shrek?
It's like, it feels like Shrek.
Wow. When you first time watching it. Okay.
Yeah. Like you watch Shrek and Shrek 2, and they're equally great for different reasons.
Yeah.
And there's a world there.
Yeah.
There's a universe that's been built. This feels like that.
Okay.
It feels part of that world.
Okay.
Part of your world. The new Little Mermaid soundtrack, on the whole, love it. Apart from the Lin-Manuel Miranda rap that's whiter than fucking bread. It's... like the rest of it, love it. Rewrites, the lyrical rewrites, love that. They're all very like, consent is sexy. Yeah, hey, let's talk to this woman before we just kiss her. Love that. And it's got this beautiful like steel pan bolero vibe. Ooh, it's really well written. And then Lin-Manuel Miranda does his thing in one rap, and it's awful.
And it goes downhill. I've heard good things about it. I've heard good things about Little Mermaid. I've not seen it myself. I'll probably just wait till it comes out on Disney Plus in probably a month's time, because that's what it feels like recently. But a small side rant about Disney Plus. I honestly feel like things that are on Disney Plus that are like you don't really want to see, they're going to be on there on that streaming service in 2-3 months' time. Like Quantum Mania has come out in July. It's just come out in June or end of May. It came out in March, February. Like, I will wait for Little Mermaid until the end of autumn, and I will just watch it then. But I have a friend who went to see it.
Go on.
I have a friend who went to see Little Mermaid, and they said it was all right. So, have you seen it?
I've not. I've just listened to the soundtrack.
Okay, yeah.
But like, I listened to one of the songs like on repeat. Which was like an instrumental version of Kiss the Girl.
Right,
with steel pans, samba, real like great song. If you haven't listened to it, like it's just fantastic music. And also on speaking of Disney Plus, I've seen that the new Avatar film is on there.
Correct.
So I might watch that, because it's one of these things where like I can remember watching the original Avatar and loving it, because it felt like a huge moment in cinema to have like a CGI film like that. And I did enjoy it. The music is what like hooks me.
Yeah.
I just love it.
It's a shame that Puss in Boots have beaten Avatar on Rotten Tomatoes.
It is not a shame. It is not a shame. I'm telling you, it's not a shame. And I bet I'm going to watch the Avatar Way of the Water and be like, this is trash.
Not like Puss in Boots.
Yeah, like, get the fucking Puss in Boots writers on this team. Please watch Puss in Boots.
I will see if it's available on any other streaming service, and then watch it.
That's your homework for next time.
Okay. So
also, I remembered we said we were going to buy each other car boot sale things. I forgot.
I've not had any time to go to a car boot, to be fair. It's for the next show or the next show after that. I don't know.
It's for when there's a car boot.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I had someone ask me 6 hours ago. They texted me in the morning, and I was like, Jesus Christ! But they were like, "Oh, what did you get, Eryk? I want to know the scoop." And I'm like, What did I gave Eryk my fucking attention. What do you mean? And then
that's fine.
Yeah, we'll do that at some point. For those who have rightly kept tabs on us, it will happen. It'll happen when life makes it happen.
I like how our audience keep tabs on us and we don't.
We need it.
Yeah,
we need that.
Thank you very much to everyone that does that. It's we appreciate you a lot. So, babies. Max, please.
I know we're running low on time, so I will.
No. We've got this. We'll do this last bit, and then we'll close up.
We'll do this last bit, and then what we're looking forward to between the next show.
Yeah.
Babies, steal your bones.
Go on.
I read a post, and this
was it on Reddit. Was it on Reddit?
It was on Tumblr because I have class. I read a post, and in true Tumblr fashion, it was completely unhinged and got derailed. So the post was, and excuse my coarse language for what I'm about to say. It says, "Why does anyone call a penis meat? The whole of your body is meat and water and stolen bones. Get over it. Don't call it meat." And the comments, instead of being like, yeah, like you're 70% water and whatever, they only focused on, I'm sorry, stolen bones, borrowed bones. These are my bones. Okay. I grew them. Who am I giving them back to? No. You did not grow your bones when you are a fetus.
Okay.
In your mother's womb. Mm-hmm. You steal her bone tissue in order to be able to grow your own bones. So bone marrow stem cells are pluripotent, which basically means they can become anything.
Anything, correct? Yeah.
Like they can become any type of cell. They can become a heart cell, an eye cell, hair cell, skin cell, toenail, whatever. They can grow into anything, which is why they're great for like lots of medical treatment. However, you can't just like for some reason in the genetic code of mammals, there's no blueprint for bones. We just have to steal it and then copy it. We can't just create it the way that we just create all our other cells.
Okay.
So that's why loads of people who can become pregnant get they're prone to arthritis, they're prone to osteoporosis, they get brittle bones, all these things. And then also people who are able to become pregnant, I'm trying to use inclusive language, people who are able to become pregnant with a womb are at a higher disposition to these bone problems because our bones are designed to be stolen from. Our bones are like, as soon as a person becomes pregnant, like their bones fundamentally change their makeup in order so that they are softer, or like not softer, but like less durable, so that the fetus parasite can steal bone tissue.
Parasite.
My sister-in-law is currently pregnant. Her baby shower is in like 3 weeks. And my autistic ass is going to bring up this fact.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to ruin the party. I just know it. I'm so scared I'm going to do it. But
I want to. Can you film it? Can you wear a body cam and then film it for the show?
Like, hi everyone, welcome to the baby shower. Did you know that my niece in there is a little thief stealing your bone. And it's like this fact, I've been focusing on it for so much. But I deeply enjoy it that babies steal bones. I also, in theme of my niece who is yet to emerge, I had a dream.
Ooh.
And this is the funniest joke I've ever written.
Okay.
And I was asleep. Okay. It came to me. But I woke up stressed. So I had a dream that I met my newborn niece for the first time, and I was like, wow, she's beautiful. What did you name her, oh brother of mine?
Go on.
And my brother turned to me and went, Arlo. And I'm like, Arlo? That's interesting. What's that? And he went, it's short for our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I was like, oh no, this is a disaster. Arlo, short for our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I woke up stressed. I immediately sent a video to my brother, like, do not do this. My other brother then chimes in immediately with, isn't that a yogurt brand? I think that's all good. And then the other brother was like, there's a blue puppet on YouTube called Arlo, name it after. So yeah,
wow.
That's my word vomit about babies stealing bones.
I wonder how did your mind go there? Like, did you eat some cheese after midnight or whatever?
No, I don't. I'm just really funny.
Okay. You're the funny one in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
They come for the bait and stay for the blue.
Of course they do. Right, so that's the show today. That is the show. So cue the music. Boom. This is obviously post-production stuff.
Yeah, sorry.
So what have you got coming up this week?
So on Friday, Joseph and I are going up north to Nottingham because the German contingent of my family is coming over to the UK. I'm going to meet my niece and nephew for the first time.
First time ever?
First time. I've been practicing my German. Mm-hmm. I'm not very good.
Good.
I'm sure Rob will correct me.
Yeah.
But I have one phrase in German.
Okay.
Okay, can I take it away?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Ich bin Tante Max oder Tante Blue, wenn Sie mochten, or wenn du willst. I need to check that. Sie ist Tante Rachel und ist Onkel Steven. Ich bin taub, deshalb müssen Sie für mich langsam Englisch sprechen. Yes. Which means...
Wunderbar.
Thank you. I hope it means, Rob's going to tell me if it doesn't.
Okay.
I am Auntie Max or Auntie Blue, whichever you prefer or whatever you like. This is Auntie Rachel and he is Uncle Steven. I am deaf, so you must speak slowly in English for me. Mm-hmm. Because my niece and nephew, they are, oh my God, like 5 and 3, 6 and 3. Maybe Ewan is 6. Yeah, he's 5. Sorry.
Okay.
But they're very young, and Ewan is completely bilingual. But I think Iona, her English is, because Ewan loves speaking English, so Ewan speaks for her. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've been practicing my German, and then I'm also going to the cricket. I'm also going to Trent Bridge.
The cricket at Trent Bridge.
To see the ladies' Ashes.
Amazing.
And I invited you along, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. However,
I'm in Nottingham.
Busy. When are you coming to Nottingham?
Friday.
Oh, I won't be here.
Yeah, Friday through Sunday.
No, I am going on Tuesday night at midnight. I am going with some friends to Glastonbury. First ever festival for me, Glastonbury. First time going ever, yeah. So go big or go home for me. So I will be away at Glastonbury from Tuesday night till Monday. So I'll be back Monday evening. And we will get all the Glastonbury breakdown from me. We'll do a next time on episode 4 about just what happened. Day by day, like breakdown. I'll keep a journal or something for funny things that happens for Shots Fired.
And maybe next time we will talk about theatre that has been made into films and films that have been made into theatre.
We forgot again. Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe next time we will talk about a theatre that's been made into films and vice versa. That's like a running joke now, isn't it?
Yeah, of our failure. To remember the most basic instructions that we leave for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much to everyone that listened in today. Thank you very much to Skegford for being on the chat through Twitch. Thanks very much to everyone who... Thank you very much for everyone that came into our polls. There'll be some more polls and things for you guys to get engaged with and give your opinions about the things we talked about. I can't really remember what we talked about, and we should. Are we keeping that?
We'll remember it in post.
Sure.
Something about arguing about Pulp Fiction. And some other shit.
Yeah. So as always, stay tuned to our Facebook and Instagram, and you can listen to this shorter version on Spotify when it's released. So it's from Eryk. Thank you very much.
And from Max, goodbye.
Bye. Peace.
Peace.